Hello and a very good everyone. So today we will learn on how to prepare a work reporting. If you look in this particular file, we do have a weekly leave data whereby I'm assigned to actually compile a report that actually summarizes different types of leave taken like annual leave, medical leave and half day for the department, each department on weekly and monthly basis. Moreover, I also need to prepare a report that show the overview of leave data for the entire company and also by department. So how am I going to do it? Let's get started. So if you look over here, we do have this data where we have the employees, we have the department and the respective dates on how they take the leaves or what type of leave taken across the dates. So based on this given data, what I want to do is I want to do some analysis. So what I do is first thing is I press Ctrl A so that it highlights the entire table. Then I go to data and I click from table/range. I click from table/range. You will notice that a box will appear. So in this particular box, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press OK. So once I press OK, you will notice that we will be navigated to Power Query Editor. So Power Query, what it does is it will actually try to perform data crunching. It will try to perform data cleaning, transforming data. So I'm going to select these first two columns and then I go to transform and click unpivot column. Or you can also right click at the header and just click on unpivot other columns. So I'm going to unpivot other column so that we have all the dates over here. And then what I'm going to do next is I just want to rename this as dates. And I will actually put it in a date format because if you notice all these dates appear in a text format. So instead of text format, I put it in a date format. So here we have employees, department, dates, and we also want to put the status, whether they are present, half day, annual leave or medical leave. So I put here status. So now this is the data. And then I go to home instead of pressing close and load, because when you press close and load immediately, it will try to load as a table in a new sheet. But what I want to do is I press close and load too. When you press close and load too, it gives you the freedom to load in many different forms, whether it's table, pivot chart or only create connection. So what I want to do first thing is I want to do in pivot table. And I'm going to press OK. So right now it will be loaded as a pivot table format in a new sheet. So what I want is basically I want to show weekly data. So I'm going to click the dates over here. I click the dates. And then what I want to do is basically I want to actually put the status. So I'll just put the status at the columns and also the status at the values. So now we do have the data. But this data over here, I don't want to show the years. I don't want to show the quarters. I don't want to show the months. Basically what my manager wants to see is he wants to see on weekly basis. So I put my cursor over here, right click and I press group. So once I press group, you will notice this box appear. It can group the data, but my manager wants to group it on weekly basis. You look here carefully, we have years, quarters, months and day, but we don't have weekly. So you need to unselect all this and you select days. But the thing is, if you want weekly data, what you need to do is you need to select the days and number of days you change to 7. Change to 7 and then you press OK. And just like that, it will show you a weekly reporting. So now this is the data over here. And then I'm going to press Ctrl A, copy this and I want to put it over here. So now we have two different pivot table. And this case, I don't want the days. What I want instead is I'll put my status over here. So this is will show you the leave. So annual leave, half day, medical leave and present. So now what I want to do is I want to actually create a two interactive feature, which is slicer and also timeline. So I go to pivot table analyze and I'll click the insert timeline. I tick the dates and I press OK. So now we have this, right click and then I put report connection so that it is connected to pivot table 2 as well. So here we do have these two things. And then after that, I go to pivot table analyze again, insert slicer. So this time I want to do by department and I'm going to press OK. So we have the departments. So just say I click accounting finance, we have the data, head office, we have the data. And then after that, if I click on January, we also have the data. So now I want to put this as a visual so that I can show to my manager. So what I'll do is I'll create a new sheet. So this sheet will represent as a visual or a dashboard. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor over here, pivot table analyze, and then I'll just try to click pivot chart. So pivot chart, of course, we have clustered column. I want to actually choose a stack bar. So I'll choose a stack bar. So this is the data. I press OK and I'll try to put a data label so that my manager can see the numbers over here. Of course, all these numbers here. So I'm just going to expand this, and I'll select all these, Control X, put it over here. Okay, so now we have this data. So the dates are just, the timeline is over here, the slicer is over here, and the chart is over here. Okay, so this is the data. Maybe we can just adjust a little. Okay, so this is the data and this is the visual. Okay, so yeah, let me just adjust accordingly, some cosmetic, and let me put my slicer over here. Okay, so now this is the data. So this one, so we can just adjust a little, and there you go. So now if just I click February, we have February data. When I click March, we have March data, and so on. Okay, so this is the data. So if just say I choose January, so now we have the January data. When I click legal and compliance division, so we have this data. And then what I can do is I can actually go to table 1. Okay, and I'll just want to create another visual for the medical leave, annual leave, and the status. So pivot chart, and then pivot chart, I choose a bar chart. So bar chart and press OK. So now we have present, medical leave, half day, and annual leave. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press here, right click, and then hide all field. And over here, I'll just put on data labels. I'll remove the grid lines and remove the legends. And you can also select this to put in accounting format, right click, and then I put number format. So I want in accounting, but no decimal places and also no symbol. Press OK, remove this x-axis, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press X, put it over here, and there you go. So now we do have these two visuals. So if just say I were to click on accounting and finance, so we do have this data as well. The data will change accordingly. So but let me just right click and report connection, and let me just tick this over here. So when I tick this, you will notice it changes dynamically. So when I just click on security department, so the visual changes accordingly. So what my manager wants is basically he wants a different types of leave taken for each department, and also overview of leave taken across the entire company. So in this case, if just say I clear filter, then it will show me the entire company for the month of January, and then if I February, March, and April. So this is by weekly as well.